Since quarantine started, the only reasons I ever get dressed now is to either go to work or film a video. Like I put this shirt on right now at 9:30 p.m. just to film this video. I am putting my pajamas on after this. Hello, my name is Elise, and I might have the word punk right in my channel name, but clearly quarantine has done something to me because now I am a huge Taylor Swift fan, rightfully so, and this video is going to be about Taylor Swift's newest album, Evermore. Technically, I am a booktuber, so this is going to be about books. I'm going to take every single track off of Evermore and compare it to a book, but because Evermore is what it is, every book I'm recommending is going to be a sapphic book, and if you don't know why, listen to Evermore because it just gives off those vibes. Anyway, I'm also going to put a lyric on the screen that kind of reminds me of the book that I am recommending because some of the songs fit better than others for these recommendations. Some of the books I just chose based off a lyric or two that I thought fit because, yeah, some songs were harder to find books for. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first song off of this album is Willow, which is gorgeous. It was not the first song I listened to because I just can never do anything in order, and I just started with the middle of the album. I think the first song I listened to was Tolerate It. But yeah, Willow is gorgeous, and the book I am choosing to represent this song is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The reason I'm choosing that one is because Taylor Swift multiple times says "that's my man" in this song, and it just kind of reminded me of Evelyn's life trying to please the public with her different rotating husbands, but that's clearly not what she was interested in. I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, but yeah, that is a sapphic book despite the seven husbands. But yeah, I thought this song and that book both captured these feelings of chasing love and also kind of not being satisfied, but also loving people. Wow, that was a horrible way to start this video off. I am so sorry. That was not a good description. I struggled finding a book for this song, okay? Next one. The next song is Champagne Problems, and I am choosing the Miseducation of Cameron Post for this song. I thought the lyrics of this song felt very messy. Not that the song was messy. I mean, like, the person that Taylor is portraying in the song felt very emotional, and that there was a lot going on, and I really felt this in the Miseducation of Cameron Post. And the lyric that I chose about not being able to keep it in and someone telling someone else about their love kind of is a plot point in the Miseducation of Cameron Post. Again, don't want to spoil the book, but that is a plot point in the book that ends up being very significant. And I just thought both Cameron Post and Champagne Problems captured this feeling of figuring things out and things not going perfectly, but also just having a bunch of emotions that you're trying to figure out. And overall, I think both are beautiful, even if they represent some messy situations. The next song is Gold Rush, and for this song, I am recommending the Henna Wars. In this book, there's this school competition taking place, and the main character gets into a little rivalry with another competitor, and it does become a rivals to lovers kind of story. In Gold Rush, there's these feelings of jealousy and wanting someone that everyone else wants too, and I kind of took this meaning and made it fit the Henna Wars because in the book there's again the competition and everyone is going towards the rival's business, which is the competition. It's about these businesses that the students are creating, and the main character gets very jealous about this. So the jealousy isn't necessarily about lovers, really, it's more about their competition. But yeah, I just thought both of these books were about jealousy and kind of being against the world because things aren't working out. The next song is 'Tis the Season, and I kind of had a hard time finding a book that would fit this song because it gives off holiday vibes, and I've not read any holiday themed books, but the book I did end up choosing is The Falling in Love Montage. The reason I chose this book is because the narrator of this book is very interesting. I loved her. She's kind of snarky and bold, but also she's dealing with a lot of emotional, personal issues. So there's this wonderful contrast of humor, but also emotion, and I really loved that. And I also kind of saw that in 'Tis the Season because the speaker, which I guess is Taylor and whoever she is trying to be in that song, is clearly longing for something, but also has this almost snarky feel to it. I don't know if anyone else felt that way too. But yeah, I thought that maybe not the plot of the Falling in Love montage really represents Tissa season, but I definitely thought the voice of that main character and Taylor / whoever Taylor is playing in this song felt very similar. Next is Tolerate It, which is so far my favorite song on the album. First one I listened to, but also the one that has stuck with me the most, and I've listened to it so many times. If you follow me on Twitter, I like to tweet about it a lot because it just gets to me every single time. But the book I chose also kind of somewhat fits, maybe not in the way that Taylor meant this song to be about, but whatever, I tried to make it fit. I chose Ask the Passengers for this song because it's this coming of age book that's about struggling with your identity and having to keep it secret and really questioning yourself, and that's not exactly what I got out of Tolerate It, but I did feel like the narrator in this song felt maybe like she was suppressing some things, or she was feeling things that other people couldn't see. They didn't know what that character was going through, and that's what I felt like the main character of Ask the Passengers was going through, because she had to conceal her feelings. I also felt like there was a lot of frustration in Tolerate It, which I also felt was very present in Ask the Passengers, because both of the main characters in the song and the book are feeling like there are things going on that they can't really control. The next song is No Body, No Crime, and the book I'm recommending for this one is the only one on this list that I have not actually read yet because it has not been released yet, but this is actually the book that kind of inspired me to make this video, so that's why I'm including it. But I am recommending Trouble Girls, which will be released next year, 2021, and it's going to be about some girls who are on the run from the cops because they may or may not have been involved in some murderous activities. And yeah, I can't say too much because I haven't actually read the book, but that's just based off of the little synopsis. But yeah, there's definitely some murderous vibes going off on No Body, No Crime, and that's why I think they sound similar. Based on what you think No Body, No Crime is about, you could also argue that there's some hints of feminism in there and some kind of critique on the expected relationships between men and women, and I am definitely sure that something like that will be discussed in Trouble Girls. So yeah, haven't read that, but definitely gives off the vibes that this song does. The next song is Happiness, and I am choosing the book Clap When You Land for this song. In Happiness, there's these reflections on the past and the present and future, I guess, and that's also present in Clap When You Land. In Happiness, the main character is most likely talking about a romantic relationship and how there was happiness before that, or in that relationship, and then after that relationship, and because of that person, and all of that, whatever. But I also thought that that could apply to the father in Clap When You Land, because he dies in a plane crash. That's right there in the synopsis. That's not a spoiler. But yeah, there is happiness from the father in this book, but also there's a lot of confusion and anger as the main characters figure out who their father actually was, but also at the end, you still see that there's happiness because of this person in their lives. The next song is Dorothea, and I am choosing You Should See Me in a Crown to represent this song. I am pretty sure the only reason that this song reminds me of this book is because the lyrics mention prom, and You Should See Me in a Crown is about prom. This song does mention someone leaving town and being different after leaving town, and I did think a childhood friends to lovers book might have fit more, but I kind of took it from like an opposite perspective, because in You Should See Me in a Crown there's this new kid that arrives to the school and hint 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 ends up being the love interest. But yeah, so kind of from like an opposite perspective, that love interest left their town and came to this town. And yeah, I know this one is kind of a stretch. This was one of the songs I really struggled to find a book to represent it. But yeah, I kind of made it fit with the prom thing. It's a great book. It's a great song, yeah? The next song is Coney Island, and for this song I am choosing the book One Last Stop. It's technically not coming out till 2021. I have read an arc of it. It is very good. Keep an eye out on it. But the reason I chose this book for this song is because Coney Island is in New York and One Last Stop also takes place in New York, and just the imagery in Coney Island kind of reminded me of what happens in One Last Stop. And there's a very specific line about sitting on a bench, and yeah, I don't know why, but that kind of reminded me of of One Last Stop, in the way that the main character always has to go on the train to see her love interest, and there's a lot of thinky feelings. I can't spoil the book. I really want to. It's very good. But yeah, there's a lot of conflict that goes on and a lot of thinking to make decisions. And yeah, I could totally see the main character August in the song Coney Island. The next song is Ivy, and for this one I am choosing Broken Things. Broken Things is more of a thriller, and it's murderous, so technically maybe that could have fit for No Body, No Crime also. But the reason I chose Broken Things for Ivy is because in Ivy there's these lyrics about a fight and you started it, and also it mentions being cursed, and that kind of reminded me of the friendship dynamics in Broken Things. Basically, there's this trio of friends who were really obsessed with this fictional world, and then one of the friends gets murdered, and the other two friends are kind of getting blamed for it because they were super obsessive and weird and things got out of hand. And I just thought that the you started it thing kind of reminded me of these characters because they're all blaming each other and looking at the dynamics between friends, but also how that could be kind of unhealthy. The next song is Cowboy Like Me, and I chose the book Upright Women Wanted. It's technically a novella, but the only reason I chose this novella for this song is because it's about cowgirls, and yeah, I mean, that's basically what Cowboy Like Me is about. And also I bet you could somehow argue that the other lyrics somehow fit the book, but yeah, that was the main reason. It gave off the cowboy/cowgirl vibes. The next song is Long Story Short, and for this one I am choosing a book that's actually by another singer. I'm choosing the poetry collection I Would Leave Me If I Could by Halsey. And I felt that both this song and Halsey's poetry really represented very similar feelings of reflection and thinking about your past self and how that relates to your future/present self and how you might have changed and maybe regretting some feelings or decisions, but also learning to grow from that. Next is Marjorie, and for this one I'm choosing the book Who I Was With Her. In Marjorie, there's discussions of someone reflecting on someone else who has passed away, and this is also the case in the book Who I Was With Her. In this book, the main character is grieving the death of her girlfriend, and I just thought this fit really nicely with Marjorie because the main character in Marjorie is also grieving, and I just thought both this song and book were beautiful depictions of what it's like to go through these very fragile but powerful emotions. The next song is Closure, and I'm choosing the book Music from Another World. In Closure, there's a lot of pain and also maybe a bit of trying to move on. In this book that I've chosen, there is a lot of pain. It's not necessarily about the relationship. There are ups and downs with the relationship, but there is pain coming from a lot of other places. But I still thought that this song could fit this book. And also, just like a little random thing that reminded me of this book, there's lyrics about "Yes, I got your letter" in this song, and there's letters in the book Music from Another World, and it's actually kind of a big part of the book. So yeah, that's just the reason why it reminded me of this book. The song reminded me of this book, if that made sense. But yeah, both are great, and Closure is probably my second favorite song on this album. The last song on this album is Evermore, which is gorgeous, and I am choosing the book Girl Made of Stars to represent this song. Girl Made of Stars is very emotional, but so beautifully written, and it is about sexual assault and victim blaming and all of the emotions that come with that. And I thought the lyrics that this Pain Won't Be Evermore really fit the themes of this book. Maybe the themes of Evermore weren't necessarily talking about the content of Girl Made of Stars, but I just thought that this message could very nicely apply to the main character in this book because it's such a heavy but delicate topic to discuss, and I thought this would offer some hope, and maybe some kind of comfort. And that is it. I know that some of these books don't necessarily fit some of the songs as well as they could have. I tried my best. I'm sorry if some of the explanations are a little short, but yeah, I thought the album was gorgeous and I love all of these books, so that's what matters, right? Let me know if you've been enjoying Evermore too, and also Folklore, of course, because those albums have been the only things I've been listening to lately. But that's how it should be, right? Alright, goodbye. Thanks for watching. I hate this. I am literally deleting my channel. Oh my god. I'm gonna give up. I did think that this song was, I don't know what I'm saying.